for us.
So if my voice echoes, please let me know. Just a few seconds.
For us.
If you can hear my voice echo. So if my voice echoes, please let me know. Just a few seconds. Checking 1, 2, 3.
For
All
us.
good. Seems like we are in
If you
business.
can hear my voice
So what I'd like
echo.
to start with is today is a little different for a few more minutes.
So if my
Anybody
voice
have any
echoes, please
questions
let
that
me
you'd
know.
like to ask today?
Just a few seconds.
Anybody have any
Checking
questions?
1, 2, 3.
For
All
us.
good. Seems like we are in
If you
business.
can
hear my voice
So what I'd like
echo.
to start with is today is a little different for a few more minutes. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I have a
Does it
question.
echo now? Or is it not echo anymore?
No, it's clear. So
Still echo?
no, it's really
Okay.
clear now.
All right, thank you. Anybody have any questions, please feel free to ask. Just waiting for a few more people to come in if they can. I know at the last minute we have to change the Zoom link. Just bear with me for 1 second, please, and I'll be with you. Vladimir, you take over for a few minutes, please. Or Teresa.
So I just want to say I'm really glad to be a part of Navtaj family, and it's so interesting how many great people he is attracting along the way, and so many people to learn from. It's just unbelievable because each of us has so much knowledge, and we just don't realize it until we use it. And it's amazing how Navtaj and his team has the knowledge to put everyone's knowledge to use. So thank you very much. And I'm really happy to see you guys.
Yeah, this is Teresa. I'm driving, so I don't have my video on, but you know, I love these networking events. I've been attending them since I met Navtaj in May of 2019. You know, super excited, especially if any of you took the apprenticeship the last 2 weekends. So, I mean, what a blessing on Thanksgiving weekend to have a networking event the following weekend. And yeah, just all the information that we're going to get today, all the updates on the market. Navtaj just doesn't, he doesn't stop. He literally gives us all he's got and everything he knows for our success. And, you know, all I'm going to say is don't take it for granted, you know, take notes, you know, write it down, whatever, you know, whatever you got to do, however you got to memorize some of this stuff or whatever. But, you know, really pay attention. He puts a lot of effort. And, you know, Vladimir's question, why does he do it after 25 years? I don't know, besides the fact of just wanting to pay it forward. And I just think it's important that all of us really take advantage of the long weekend. Yes, it's family, and yes, it's Thanksgiving. And you know, I'm really grateful to know all of you guys. And if I can contribute to any one of your successes, by all means, I'm a call away as well. So thanks,
I got
everyone.
a question for you, Teresa.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to see another property on this long weekend?
Yes, I am. Several, actually.
Several properties.
Yes, yes,
Excellent.
yes.
Well, that works always. All right, that's great. Okay, I think we can, some of them are still logging in. So I think we're gonna start right now as we speak. Thank you so much. I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience today. The login was not correct. My mistake. I'll take the full responsibility for it. But we're gonna move forward. Always, when you're gonna do something, you're gonna make a mistake. When you don't do anything, you never make a mistake. So would you like to make a mistake?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You're gonna do something.
Yes and yes.
Yes, and yes. And there's a better way every time.
Yes.
And when you do that, guess what? You become better. Life is to experience, my friend, not to watch other people experience. Your own experience is the best teacher in your life. Yes or yes?
Yes, yes.
Yes, and yes, always your own life experience. And it's okay to own your mistake. Yes or yes. I own my mistake today and I sincerely apologize and moving forward. So, boy, okay, move it. Yeah, play it. Some of you who are joining us first time, Pre-Canada has been around since 93, but we start marketing starting first meeting April 2005. We have been going 16 years strong, never ever missed a meeting every month. Whether we have 200 people, 500 people, or 5 people during a snowstorm, we conducted the meeting. That's called commitment and determination. When you start something, you wrap it up no matter what. And life is gonna throw a lot of wrenches on your face, but that's real life. It's not meant to be easy, yes or yes. It's meant to be a lot of challenges. Challenges make it hot and spicy. That's why I love hot and spicy food. And some of you get my sense of humor. Some of you gonna say, okay, whatever. Why you should join a real estate club? It's a nurturing place. You come down, ask the question, you get all the knowledge, what we experience, our staff put a lot of effort and time in to do all the research, and we serve you in silver plating, the best way to meet fellow people who are serious. People don't like to work with strangers. We become like a family, and you're gonna find from time after time after time, people who like to come and meet on a regular basis, they can trust each other, and it works every time. It's not the matter of, it's a matter of commitment. I belong to this and I will bring challenges. You don't make friends when you need them. You become friend to nurture a relationship. Real estate business is lifelong business relationship. It's not for one day. It takes step by step to build it, one step at a time. It takes a long time to build it. It takes a few seconds to destroy it. So here you are in the mastermind meeting, and it's gonna be quite an experience for you. Your network is gonna become your net worth. Remember that, how many people do you know and how many deals we can put together. Sooner or later, we need each other's help, no matter how long we have been in business for, and it is there. Always we need other people to come in and help us out. And guess what? It becomes better every time.
Uncle, you get muted.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me loud and clear now? Sorry, my mistake. Maybe I am just doing something I'm not supposed to be doing, but I guess we are good. So here's my question for you. Is the Canadian low interest rate gravy train gonna come to an end soon? We're gonna have a guest speaker. David Grossman, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Okay, it's all yours, my friend. So one of the brother from another mother, a gentleman named by David Grossman, who is the architect, I would say that he is the best, one of the best mortgage broker in Ontario. Very well respected, earned the respect with his due diligence, the way his work ethics are, the way he advises clients. It's not about the mortgage alone. He will advise you exactly, not for the one-term loan. He wants to build a relationship with you for life. And he doesn't want you to get only one mortgage. He's going to advise you what to do, what not to do, and how you should be, what kind of mortgage you should be getting, and what will be your game plan. And he can share all his experience with you. So ladies and gentlemen, with all due respect, let's invite over one of my brother from another mother, David Grossman here. Before, make sure you take his number, write it down, and you can give me a call. So let's talk about him, about is the Canadian low interest gravy train coming to an end soon? David, is all yours, my friend.
Okay, thanks very much, Navtaj, my brother from another. Always appreciate the opportunity to be here. I just want to make sure, can you see me okay? Because I'm calling in from my phone today.
Yes, we
I
can
can't
see
see
you loud and
myself, so-
clear. Actually, you look pretty. Oh, here we go. Your glasses, really
I'm
good.
wearing my Jerry Hogan Hout Canadian Investment Services sweatshirt. If Jerry's on, he'll be very happy to see that. But I don't know if he's on yet. If I came in a couple minutes late, so if people were taking an opportunity, I just to say what they're grateful for, given that it's Thanksgiving weekend, I just want to say how grateful I am to be. I mean, it's been more than a year now, Taj, since you have been inviting me to attend these meetings, and I'm very grateful for that, and I'm grateful to all the people who have called me. I've had many calls from your group. Over the last year and a bit. So appreciate the opportunity very much. I'm grateful for my health, and I'm grateful for the long weekend. And what else? Grateful to be living in Canada. Grateful for low interest rates. There's a good segue. So the question is Canadian low interest rate gravy train coming to an end soon? I don't think so. I've done a little bit of research on the topic. I mean, there was a bit of a scare, fixed rates, they can go up and they can go down. And they recently went down a little bit, which was a surprise. And then there was, some upward pressure on them and they went up. So it's important to remember when we're talking about interest rates that you've got your fixed rates and you've got your variable rates, and they're both, they move according to different pressures. There's some similarity, but there's basically different pressures. And it's the fixed rates that went up. So why did fixed rates recently go up? The reason is because investors are concerned about inflation. And what happens is they pull their money out of bonds, because bonds are fixed investments. So if you own a bond, let's say you buy a bond for $100 and you're getting a 5% return on that bond. If you're worried about inflation, you're concerned that 5% is going to be eroding, right? Because inflation is creeping up and your return is no good. So what do? You go to sell that bond. When you sell it, if a lot of people are looking to dump their bonds, then the prices of the bonds go down. So let's say you can buy that same bond that was $100. Now you buy it for $95. But you're still getting that $5 or 5%. It was 5% on the 100. So that's a yield. Your yield has gone up, and with it, when bond yields go up, fixed rates go up. Bit of a convoluted explanation, but I think it's good to remind ourselves of that once in a while. Honestly, I have to look that up once in a while every time somebody asks me, because it's a little bit confusing. Not something we deal with every day, for sure. But yes, there is inflationary pressures. And the last I heard, because originally the Bank of as far as variable rates goes, now why do variable rates move? The reason they move is because the government has to set policy, and when there's a lot of inflation, the government has to increase rates in order to slow the economy down, because they're worried about inflation. So we're in a kind of a weird spot right now, because on the one hand, they don't want to slow the economy down because there's a lot of, economic concern with COVID and unemployment and things of that nature. But at the same time, prices have been going up on materials and all kinds of things. So there is inflationary pressure, but they say, oh, it's not that great. I don't know if they're being totally truthful or not. And as a result, they've kept the overnight rate and very low, down at 0.25%. And it's that overnight rate that affects the prime rate that the banks base their variable rate mortgages on. And the talk is that in the second half of next year, 2022, rates are likely to start going up. Variable rates are likely to start going up. I heard recently talk that they maybe the banks are saying they think maybe it'll only go up once next year. And when it does go up, they usually increase it a quarter point at a time. And that there'll be further increases the following year in 2023. So they're really trying to put that off. They're worried about the fourth wave of COVID. and so on. So I do not think the low rate interest rate environment is going to be over anytime very soon, because there's too many concerns about the economy to be for rates to be going up right now. Does that answer your question on that?
Yes, we got another question for you.
Yes.
Is there any product which is offering 40-year amortization?
Right. Okay. So 40-year amortization. So I'll tell you, first of all, I'm sure there's some lenders that do. Like, I mean, you know, there's a lot of mortgage brokers that say, oh, we deal with, 40 lenders or 50 lenders. And I got to tell you, the problem is it sounds good, right? But the problem when you deal with 40 or 50 lenders is that you don't have enough volume. You can't really have enough volume to have a real significant relationship or impact with any particular lenders. When I first got into this business about 18 years ago, I remember one guy from a lender, it was actually Bridgewater. He was a very senior guy. He says to me, listen, he says, there's a few different categories of lenders, which I'm sure you all know, right? You've got your A lenders, or the prime lenders. You got your B lenders, it's like kind of medium ground, right? And then you got your C lend, with B, by the way, is still institutional money. So you might pay 3%, 4% instead of 1.5 or 2 or 2.5. And then you have your C lenders, which is your private lenders. And he said, you need like a few lenders in each category. You need a few lenders in each category, but you don't need 40 or 50 lenders. So why do I bring this up when you ask me about 40-year amortizations? The reason is because honestly, I mean, I'm sure I could find a lender who's got 40-year amortization, but people come to me, they want to solve some kind of a problem. If cash flow is the concern and you're thinking, oh, I want a long amortization to improve cash flow, there's different ways that you can do that. Longer amortization is one. The lenders that I deal with most often are offering 30-year amortizations. We do have one that I deal with from time to time. They have a 35-year amortization. And the other thing is that if you're really concerned about cash flow, you can also take a line of credit and just pay interest only. So it really depends on what is your objective. What are you trying to accomplish? If you're a player and you want to get the maximum leverage you can and just, buy and buy and buy, I say take a line of credit if you can. And then don't forget, you can always refinance if you need to take out equity. So that's largely what I have to say about that. Now, I would say also that if you own a property and you want to pay that mortgage down in a somewhat reasonable amount of time, I would say go with the 25-year amortization because you'll be able to pay it down. We used to do a number of years ago, 10, 15 years ago, if you can believe, we had 0 down and 40-year amortizations. It was a good product in order to get people the biggest mortgage that they could for their income, right? Because taking a longer amortization does lower the payment and could allow you to qualify for more. But the other thing is if it's less than 20% down, no such a thing as 40-year amortization. 25 years is the max. That's the rule. So the insurers have really tightened up on that respect, right? Minimum down payment is between 5 and 10% down now on insurance. So no more 0 down 40-year amortization, that's for sure. But there's where there's a will, there's a way. The key is to help to figure out what is people's financial objective. Nobody's ever called me up and said, hey, can you get me a 40-year amortization? Whatever your mortgage challenge is, call me. I will help you address it. I will help you get to the next level. If you want to buy, flip, we have lenders remarkably who are helping people who are flipping remarkably with like $20,000 down on a purchase. Okay, 20,000, but you have to pay for your own renos. The interest rates are high, but the object is to fix, either flip or refinance, because you know it's hard to sustain very high interest rates. Does that answer your question, Nav?
Yes, I got two things. Let me just give you a bit of how the thing came about. I was involved with a meeting with a bunch of builders, and the builders have the challenge. The challenge is, hey, we got a new product coming in, and the product is a house. People can put 20% down, but the mortgage, the payments per month will be higher. And they have decided to go to a couple of credit unions, and they say, listen, why don't you offer 20% down? Definitely yes. And give a 40-year amortization so that more people can buy our new houses, because some of these areas, the builders are stuck with the inventory. That was number one. And the second meeting I had is a bunch of people with multi-units. And now the multi-units, the prices have gone crazy. And they are asking through CMHC channel and other channels, hey, on apartment buildings, can we get 35 or 40-year amortization? And the CMHC, you know better, I'm sure you just closed a deal last week or last month.
It's still closing, but yeah.
Closing, okay. Is it
Yeah.
through CMHC or is it regular?
It is not.
Okay.
It is not. But you're right on multifamily. Yes, CMHC has a product. Now they say they will go up to 40-year amortization on a multifamily, minimum 15% down. But you got to remember a couple things about CMHC insured apartment buildings. One is they do their own evaluations. So when they say 15% down, by the time they finish their evaluation, it may end up being more like 25% down. Okay, so really we always need the numbers, the financials to assess how much they're willing to loan, number one. And number two, they're also going to look at what is the likely economic, remaining economic life. If it's a brand new building, yeah, they might give you 40-year amortization. But if it's a little bit older building, they're not likely to go to 40 years.
All right, one final question, which is a standard question for every meeting you come to. What to do when you got it turned down for a mortgage?
Well, you give me a call. I mean, you could call me before you get turned
Perfect.
down, so you don't have to go through the grief. Give me a call. I'll let you know before you do what you want to do. We'll map out a strategy. You want to buy, you want to fix, you want to flip. How many do you want to do? You know, we'll figure out a plan from the beginning. Not so, you know, I mean, if you get declined by the bank, I'm happy to take your call. More than happy. I've helped many people out in that situation. But if you want to plan your business, you want to figure out how you can take equity out of your property, you want to do 5 flips this year or next year, and you want to figure out how you're going to make that happen, give me a call and I'll help you map out a strategy.
Excellent. Thank you, David. Once again,
Thanks for your
David at
time.
rockyourmortgages.com. I love your website name, by the way, rockyourmortgage.ca. And don't forget to give me a call today. Right now, you get a question, send him a text message. I will make him work for you.
Anytime.
If he can reply today, not otherwise Tuesday, you'll get a call from him. 416-876-2031. Mr. David Grossman, a brother from another mother, my friend. Thank you once again, David. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot. Thanks,
And
Navtaj.
happy Thanksgiving
Thanks.
Day, my friend.
Happy Thanksgiving. Take care.
Thank you,
Thank you.
David.
Bye, sir.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Bye for now.
So now we talk about mortgages. Now get to the next thing. And this is a very critical thing. What are we going to do with the debt? And other thing is, what are the top? This is something we all going to go through. Tax error an average Canadian investor make. The Canadian real estate market. When it comes to rental properties, it has long, rich, and complex history. So I'm not going to say the word, the common law case decision, Canada Revenue Agency's policy, whatever it is, for us to give us insight and give you proper advice, we bring another gentleman here who is tremendously well respected across Canada. Jerry, our friend, actually, I'll call him a friend. Jerry, are you there, my friend?
I'm here now. Can you hear me?
All right, we can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome.
And if you can tell me how you pronounce this word, I tried to pronounce this word. It is what?
Smorgasbord.
All right.
Smorgasbord, I guess.
All
Smorgasbord
right.
is the way it would. But it's very fitting word description of what they're describing.
Well, all right. So it's all yours, ladies and gentlemen. We have Jerry. Before Jerry comes in, I just want to remind you, make sure you go to CanadianInvestmentServices.ca, subscribe to this newsletter. He conducts monthly meetings as well. And you have his direct number. And Jerry, it's all yours. Please enlighten us about all the mistakes real estate investors make, especially when they have rental properties.
Okay, thanks again, Nav. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. It's a wonderful weekend to count our blessings, whatever they are. So, but anyway, the description you just put up there, Nav, wow, is that ever fitting for this tax world? A smorgasbord of, you know, legislation, references, common law case, Revenue Canada policies, income tax legislation. It is a smorgasbord. With that said, as real estate investors, there are some simplicities that we should all know. Yes, it's complicated. The Income Tax Act looks complicated, but there's some basic things we all need to know. And by knowing those things, we avoid the errors. Okay, so Nav's asked me to talk about some of the errors that we see specifically for real estate. I mean, there's a bunch of errors that we see in general, not so much specific for real estate. I'll just mention them real quick, and then I'll go to the real estate portion. A couple of the mistakes we see all the time. This is general. This is not so much real estate. Medical expenses are always a problem, the way people account for it. Medical expenses can be claimed in any 12-month period ending in the year we're filing a tax return. I don't want to dwell too deep because I want to talk about real estate. That's one. So medical is one problem. Not using RRSP contributions properly. I see people putting money into RSPs in a 20% tax bracket. No reason to do that at all. That's a mistake. Having the wrong investments in the wrong place. We have investments inside of RSPs. We have investments outside of RSPs. Each investment can make different types of return. Interest, capital gains, dividends, return on capital. So having the right, one big mistake is seeing people with the wrong investments in the wrong structures. So that's just, also not using dividends properly. That's a big mistake we see. And this is, again, just general. Now we turn to real estate. We're all real estate investors. We want to make sure our affairs are structured properly. So I'm just going to go through a bunch of the mistakes that I see, real estate investors doing. And again, these mistakes can be easily resolved by just some of the basic understanding. We don't have to get into the depth of that smorgasbord of income tax stuff. But as real estate investors, the two biggest things are, I see, you really need to understand the difference between a non-capital expense and a capital expense. A non-capital expense we can deduct directly against our rental income, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Capital expenses are more major expenses. The one way to think of it is if you're making an expense, okay, if you're putting on a new, if you're making an expense and it extends the longevity of your asset, of your real estate investment. For example, you put on a new roof. Is that extending the life of your asset? Absolutely. Okay, that means it would be a capital asset. If you change a doorknob, that's a minor expense. Is that extending the lifetime of your asset? Not really. That would be what we call a regular expense. So a regular expense can be deducted annually against the rental income. A capital expense needs to be what we call capitalized, and we can depreciate that over time. Okay, so there's a big difference. Google it, non-capital expenses versus capital expenses. Internet gives us lots of information. Talk to your colleagues. We're belonging to this networking group, so really get a handle for that. Problem number 2 for real estate investors, when we're in this game of real estate investing, which we all are, whether we're buying, whether we're fixing, whether we're flipping, we need to make sure that all our debt should be tax deductible. Okay, even the debt on our principal residence can be restructured to be tax deductible. So understand what that means. We want all our debt, any mortgage payment we make, we want it to be a tax deduction. You can't have enough good debt. Tax deductible debt is good debt. Debt controls an asset. It's as simple as that. Okay, and we're real estate investors. We buy these assets, either again to buy, fix, or flip. If we're buying and holding, we have the beauty of real estate appreciation working for us. We have the beauty of our tenants paying down our mortgage, and we have the beauty of possibly of cash flow. Now, again, I want to focus on that a little bit, because that's another mistake that I see people make. Understand what net rental income is and what we do with it. Okay, net rental income simply is the rent that you receive. Okay, you get to deduct your mortgage interest, not your total mortgage payment. You get to deduct your mortgage interest only. Okay, we get to deduct property taxes from that rental income. We get to deduct insurance. If it's a condominium, we're paying the condo fee, we get to deduct the condo fee. If we're lucky, our tenant pays the heat, hydro, and water, any utilities, okay? But don't forget, if you have a rental property, don't forget about deducting your vehicle, okay? The income tax allows you to deduct the business use of your vehicle dealing with the rental property. The Income Tax Act allows you to deduct some office and home space for dealing with the rental property that you have. I see this missed all the time. With all due respect to my colleagues, the accountants, they don't really suggest these type of deductions. Most accountants are going, okay, you have a rental property, what's your mortgage interest, what's your property taxes, what's your insurance, what's your condo fee, okay, tenant pays the heat, hydro, water, and that's it. They figure out the net rental income based on that calculation. Remind your accountant to deduct part of your car. Remind them to deduct part of your office and home. Supplies, your computer, your internet cost, that can be deductible against rental income. Now, when we deduct all these things against our rent income, we come up with net rental income. Okay, pretty simple comment, but understand what that is. So it's the tax income from our rent. Now, what do we do with that stuff? Okay, the big mistake I see a lot of people, they just put it on their personal tax return. Okay, they own the property personally. We calculate the net rental income and we put it on the personal tax return. Okay, so the next thing you got to understand is what tax bracket are you putting that net rental income into on your tax return? If you had no other income, okay, you've heard me preach this before. Every person has 4 tax brackets, 20%, 30%, 40%, and 50%. Okay, the 20% tax bracket, 0 income to 50,000 of income. The second tax bracket, 30%, is 50,000 to 100,000. The next tax bracket, the third one is 40%, and that's 100 to 150,000. And then the last one is 50%. At 150,000 and over. Okay, understand that stuff. Write it down as I say it and grasp it. So now we're going to take net rental income from our rental property, or a flip if we have profit. Okay, and we're going to put that on a tax return. My question is, what tax bracket are you paying tax at? Okay, if you're in the low tax bracket, no problem. Everything is good. If you're way up there in the 50% tax bracket, if you have a job or if you flipped a few properties and you've made over $150,000, you're in tax bracket 4. You're paying 50%. We do not want net rental income being put on your personal tax return at 40 or 50%, even 30%. How do we solve that problem? We create a management corporation. Okay, a management corporation pays tax at 12.2%. Huge saving, especially if you're personally into the higher tax bracket. What do you want to pay? 50% on your net rental income or 12.5% on your net rental income? Understand the use of management corporations, okay? If the management corporation is managing, keyword managing, your rental property, it's considered active income for the 12.2% active income tax rate. If you keep net rental income in a corporation, okay, it pays tax as passive income, 50%, 50%. Okay, we're in this real estate game. Understand the difference between active management income, which is managing a building, and passive income, which is just literally the net rent income that comes from owning a property. Okay, again, these properties, we own all these properties either personally or in a corporation. Okay, so we got to understand. So those are some of the mistakes I really see real estate investors not so much making, but it's just strategizing and better understanding this stuff. The stuff I've talked about, sure, there's a learning curve to it, but it's not overly complex. It's not the smorgasbord that the Income Tax Act is. Also, some things, again, that real estate investors, some mistakes I see them make, and I'm just kind of touched on it right there, just not using corporations properly. Okay, a corporation can be your friend, okay, but it has to be structured properly. Another problem, real estate investors, if you have RSPs, okay, make sure we're using those RSPs to enhance our real estate portfolios. Okay, we can use the money inside of your RSP for real estate purposes. Okay, Nav of all people is the master. I mean, he's educating everyone how to do this kind of stuff. Okay, this is important, how to use your RSPs. So really make an effort to understand that. Overall, general comment for a mistake we see with a lot of tax returns is just failing to deduct your business expenses. Again, most of them are pretty obvious. You have a rental property, yes, you can deduct the mortgage interest, the property taxes, insurance, a condo fee. But again, deduct the other stuff, your car, your office and home. Nothing wrong with going out for dinner one night and going, hey, this we're going to talk about the rental property. So we're shoving that receipt in. So those are some things. Really grasp, also the capital gains versus regular business income. As we start, if we buy one property and flip it or sell it, hold it and sell it, it's a capital gain. If we do that multiple, if we start to turn that into a business activity, we're now being able to possibly pay tax as regular business income. Capital gains are 50% is tax-free. That's a great thing. So we're only adding 50% of what our capital gain is to our tax return. But I go back to what I said earlier. What marginal tax bracket is that half of the capital gain being taxed at? And especially when we compare it to a corporation, an active corporation that is paying 12.2%. Okay, so they're just a few of the things that I want to touch on today. I've covered most of what I want to talk about. If there's any questions, I'm glad to answer them. But again, when we see mistakes made on tax returns, most of these mistakes are made because people haven't taken their time to educate themselves. A little bit of education will stop those mistakes from happening. And as I've said many times, the Tax Act can be your biggest enemy, and it can also be your best friend. So use the Tax Act to your advantage to lower the amount of tax that we all pay. So Nav, I think that pretty well wraps up what I wanted to talk about.
Great.
Unless there's anything specific.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Thank you so much for your wisdom. Once again, please go to CanadianInvestmentServices.ca, subscribe to this newsletter, or you want to call them directly, 416-979-7426. Please write it down, give me a call, set up an appointment, and Jerry will be more than happy to discuss your personal matter with you. There are a lot of gray areas when it comes to Canadian taxes. You want to do it right, and you want to make sure that every possible legal deduction which is available to you, you should exercise that. There's one thing I'd like to ask Jerry, and this is something he will confirm with you. The Canada Revenue Agency has some sort of mandate, that's my personal opinion. If you pay too much taxes, they never say a word. They don't say, hey, you pay too much. What happens when you don't pay enough? They come after you. Is that correct, Jerry?
Yeah, they come after you, but again, we have rights as taxpayers. Again, the Income Tax Act, as I've said before, half of it is written in black and white, pretty straightforward, but the other half is in gray. That becomes interpretive. We're allowed to go into that gray area and make our own interpretation of things. Revenue Canada might come after us, but we can fight it. We can argue it. We can file notice of objections. We can go to tax court. So really, the trick is for the investor, they have to be comfortable. When we go into the gray area, they have to be comfortable. I can take people to the edge of the cliff of the gray area. If they want to, I can be much less, I can be much more conservative into that gray area. A lot depends on the person. But yeah, no, Revenue Canada, I mean, they're hiring more and more and more people. They're coming after us. They don't like creative accountants like me to try to get their people's taxes down, but it is our right. Again, we have a right to structure our affairs to minimize our income taxes. So that's a legal right we have, and we need to do that. But yeah, they're always after us, Nav.
All right. Thank you, Jerry. Sincerely appreciated, my friend, your time, and happy Thanksgiving as well. And we will definitely speak to you on November.
Awesome.
In between as well. Thank you
Yeah,
once again,
thank
Jerry. So that was Jerry. Let's give him a big hand, please, if we can. A thumbs up, or just say thank you to him in the chat, or you have his number. Just call him directly, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks very much, Nav. I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next thing I'm going to talk about is called cheating, snitching, snitch on the taxes. So Canada Revenue Agency has a phone number where you can call them up. Usually what happens when right now lately, because of the COVID, they were handing out money and a lot of people are claiming it, which they're not supposed to. So their load has gone up quite a bit, and then you're gonna find there are some people, you wonder, you know what, they are not playing the fair game with you. They are not declaring all the income. They are doing all kind of stuff. They're taking all the cash on the table and so on and so on. So there is a number, there's a number right on the screen that you could call them up and you remain anonymous. And these are just to make sure that, hey, listen, if I pay full taxes, and there are other guys who are not, it doesn't make you feel good though, but there are certain guidelines you can follow that. Just thought I should share with you. Because of CERB, a lot of people are working and they're still claiming getting all the benefits. And I believe that is unfair for the rest of the Canadians who are hardworking, honest people though. Just thought I should share with you. So Snitch Line got about 62,000 calls first year. This is quite a lot. And majority of these calls were simply because people are not honest and they're just utilizing the handout. And I believe they are abusing the system. As a Canadian taxpayer, I believe that it becomes our responsibility that when we see something like that, we should maybe make a call. All right. So I'm gonna skip this one as well. We're gonna have a session later on today. Ask me anything. It'll be any questions you have later on today. Once this presentation is over. Rory Sheehan is not going to be with us this weekend. Actually, he did record a video. Unfortunately, I was unable to upload it, and I promised to send a copy of that YouTube. What he did for us, it was amazing. And this is a gentleman who's honored to be. Strictly honored to have him here all the time. So we're going to move into our meetings. Not in hospital, not in jail, not in grave. Take a 5 seconds to say, thank you, Lord. Thank you for everything God has given to us. We do not take it as granted. Be thankful. It's Thanksgiving Day. I'm sure we all are thankful for more than one person, for more than one thing in our life, though. And thank you for being able to survive and alive and a blessing. Couple of things I like always remind you. Continuous learning is a minimum requirement for success in any field. That's what Dennis Waitley. I'm sure learning shall never stop. Even every mistake you make is also part of learning. Moving forward with this thing, how Canadians should invest $100,000? What would you recommend them to do if somebody have $100,000? I'm gonna give you a couple of hints here. If somebody have 100,000 sitting in the savings account, do you think you can offer them a better return on their money? Somebody have RSP money, TFSA money, they have line of credit, they can borrow money at 1-2%. Won't be interesting if they can rent the money out for 6% secured by first mortgage. We have a bunch of people in this meeting who will be interested speaking to you, becoming your joint venture partner, or you can invest money with them. And they will be speaking to you during the meeting if you have any capital you want to invest. Or you want to invest, you say, I don't want to invest real estate. I don't like tenants, but I don't mind getting 6-8% return on my money or 10% return on my money. Again, let me know, let us know, and see if you have any recommendation. Every time we come to the meeting, we have to remind you the concept combined of ikigai. What is the reason? Where do you find the joy and fulfillment and balance in your daily life? What do you like to do? What would you like to contribute? And this is simply put. If you like, please grab your phone, take a picture. What do you really love? What you are really good at it? What do you think the world needs from you? And how can you get paid? Everything about your passion, living your dream life, and giving the world what they need from you, and also you get paid. This is your ikigai. Very powerful word in my opinion. I love it. Read it maybe twice a day sometimes. It just kind of reminds you every day, hey, what is the purpose of my life? What am I going to do? Am I going to help another Canadian family not to become homeless? Am I going to save somebody from pre-foreclosure? Am I going to save somebody from pre-power sale? Or am I going to save somebody from eviction by the sheriff? Or am I going to help somebody to downsize and make sure nobody goes homeless though? This is all part of it. So I'm going to give you some breaking news and information. Look at this little property. Those who are not familiar with flipping, listen, look at this very, very carefully. Very carefully, just bear with me. So this piece of property was bought in 2015 for only $80,000 per acre. After 5-6 years, sold 10 times the value. 10 times the value. Isn't it an incredible flip? From $15 million to $165 million in 6 years. Somebody made $150 million. Is that great? Or is it totally good? Put in the chat box if you like. From 80,000 per acre to 825,000 per acre. Did not do any rezoning, nothing on it. Why it is happening? Are you part of the? Are you aware what's happening around you? What is multiplying the 10 times the value when it comes to Canadian real estate? 10 times. What are we missing? Is that okay? We become a copycatter. Is that okay? Next deal is over deal, where you buy something and you sell it 10 times what you paid for it. If somebody else can do it, yes, you can do it too. And somebody just wrote, Just Paul said it's better than 649. Thank you, Jess. Appreciate it, my friend. Here is another deal. Somebody bought a property, made $2 million. Property value is 2.5 million. Under the tax lien, it got sold on September 27th. For how much? 510. Is that good? Is that okay to make $2 million in one deal in one day? Full disclosure has been given to you. 9025 Jim Bailey Road in Kelowna, BC. Please feel free to Google it. Somebody's making $150 million. Somebody's making $2 million buying it correctly. Are you buying your real estate in the correct way? Here is another one in Kelowna. Just thought I should share with you. This property is worth $820,000, got sold for $360, but 45 cents on a dollar. Another one got, this is a condo, property value 224, got sold for 100,000, less than 45 cents on a dollar. And this is something else I want to talk to you about. Some incredible opportunities for next 20 years or 30 years to come. Today, I want to focus on how do you incredibly increase the value and the cash flow of your properties across Canada. And there is something which is going to become very common. Right now, it is at a baby step. It's a very initial stage. And I want to take you to give you an idea of what is a laneway house. Mostly in the laneways, what we used to have, a garage. What can you turn your garage into? Another suite, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom? What's the cost? And what is the long-term benefit? Now, just to give you a bit of an idea, and again, a bit of a history, it's important for you to understand why they built laneway houses in 1920s. We didn't have the cars. We used to have carriage houses. The horses carrying a carriage. And that was built for horses and the locksmiths and farriers and housing for grooms and other workers. These were the people who were helping the homeowner or the landlord. Landlord lived in a major house. At the back side of the house, instead of calling it a garage, that was it. Now, down the road, when we have gone a little bit more into better thing, then it was a service route for people to deliver coal for you, wood delivery, and cinder removal. And after the war, when we start building cars, this start becoming a garage door. Now from garage doors, it's gonna become laneway houses. This is a money maker. Incredible money maker for you. So this is the history of the laneway houses in Canada. We can go back before we had cars. Now what's going to happen next? Do we need the cars? Are we going to be buying the cars? Are we going to be renting the cars? It'll be all electronic cars. Now you notice that there's a lot of disruption going on in every industry. And disruption is good, but we as investors look at one way or the other, how can we increase the cash flow and increase the asset value by forced appreciation, utilizing what is available for you. So ladies and gentlemen, today's meeting, this is all more educational. How about if you get $50,000 for free to build a laneway house? Does that sound exciting? $50,000 to build it. Yes, look how pretty this house looks. It's on top of the garage. Okay, so here is the situation in Toronto. just to let you know that you're on board. Finally, in 2018, they realized that, okay, you know what, we should. We have 350-kilometer long laneway housing in, we have 350 kilometer long laneway housing. If we start building those laneway housing, the return on the money is totally incredible. You can build it from 300,000 to 600,000 to $1 million. What do you want? But they pay for it in such a manner, no matter which way you look at it. And there's one word you might sound kind of familiar with you, aging helicopter parents. They want the kids out. They want you to move out, live in a laneway house. Laneway houses are incredible source of a positive cash flow and incredible wealth building tool for you. Incredible tool. Now, based upon the numbers here, the number of laneway houses in Toronto is barely 2,400. We have 300 kilometers in Toronto. Only 50 lane houses were built since 2018. There are only 131 under construction. There are only 58 applications. These are the facts provided by the City of Toronto. What are we missing? Opportunity. Right in front of you. Forget about buying it, forget about buying it, this and that. You buy one property or two properties in Toronto with the laneway at the back, start building a laneway house, guess what? You're a multi-millionaire. You do one every 3 to 5 years, guess what? Your net worth will grow from 0 to 50 million bucks in next 10 years or less. Is that a lot of money? Oh, yes. You cannot do that working for somebody. I'd like to ask a question to everybody, and please, if you feel free to reply it. Do you think you are getting overpaid at work? If you're working for somebody, are they overpaying you? Just put in the chat box if you like. So here is affordable laneway suits program. This gentleman got, he built 550 square feet of this little house out there. He got $50,000 from the city. Here is something you need to understand. Like why did he get it? What was the bargainings all about? So he thought he's gonna be able to build this property for $250. By the time he finished, cost $350. But there was some problem here. When he got $50,000 from the city, they said, you cannot charge more than $1,661 per month interest, rent. But the current rate is $1,900 a month. So he figured it out, you know what? What should I do? What should I do? Should I take $50,000 now and keep the rent reduced, or just go with the market rent and get no money? So here's my question for you, if you like, in the chat box. What would you do? Would you take $50,000 and keep the rent low, or you keep the rent high but don't take any money, which is totally forgivable? Please put in the chat. Or if you'd like to talk, you're welcome to talk right now. Take 50 grand, thank you. Okay, that's one opinion. I'm just waiting for anybody else. If you, 50 grand, take 50,000. 2 people said yes. Take the money, 3. Take the money, 4. Or take the money, thank you. It doesn't matter what you do. Okay. And have cash from the city, definitely, yes. Take 50K, thank you. So idea is take the money, okay. I hear you loud and clear now. This is excellent. Now, this is an asset. And we all know that we're always short of cash. And if one person said, no, not take the money. That's very kind of you. As a different opinion, you might have a better choice. And it is make more sense that you can charge extra $300, $250 a month Why not? That's your personal choice. We don't make a decision, we just give you options, and our purpose of the meeting is to educate you and bring you awareness. So here is a $1 million Laneway suite in Toronto. It's like a little Muskoka and the Leslie and Gerard. It's a house with a yellow door, 3,200 square foot, 4-bedroom suite. They spent $1 million. Nowadays, $1 million doesn't sound like a lot of money, but if they spend 1 million, would you know what would be the resale value of it? Anybody like to put in the chat box? They spend $1 million to build it. If they want to only resell this thing, what do you think 3,200 square foot, 4-bedroom suite will sell for? Any idea? 2.5 million? Yeah. Maybe 3.5, 4 million maybe. Is that a good investment to invest 1 million, and by the time you're done, it has multiplied by 3 to 4 times? We are here as exploring ideas, giving you different strategies. Even if you have borrowed $1 million for 1 year, and by the time you finish construction, if that becomes $3 or $4 million, is it worth it? Yes or yes? Well, here's, if you want to reply in the chat or you want to talk, hey, unmute yourself. This session belongs to all of us.
Yes,
It's a big
Right.
yes.
yes.
Yes is good. Yes and yes, okay. And idea of building from 1 million to 4 million is not incredible. It's like a gold mine. They have given you the keys. Hey, make $4 million or $3 million. Is that okay from 1 million to 4 million in 1 year? How much equity did you build? Is that taxable? Are you going to have a cash flow for life? Do you have to work anymore? Your choice. All I can do is educate. Your job is to execute. Is that simple? Yes, it is simple. Would you have some difficulty? Oh, yes. Would you have to go through a lot of red tape? Oh, absolutely. Would you be discouraged? Oh, 1,000 times every day. You got discouraged to get up in the morning. Do I need to get up? Oh my God, I just getting sleep. Yes, you have a job. You get up against your own free will. But once you have built few properties like this, then you're gonna say, no, I'm up. I want to enjoy this beautiful day. God has blessed me today. I'm financially independent. I planned. I hustle. I don't take no as an answer. No means yes. I need to take but a couple 10,000 no's. Each no is better towards my future. Just thought I share with you. This is another one for sale. They're looking for $1.8 million. It's a small one, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It was sold for $1.4 million in 2020, and it's half the 1,300 square foot. But it's in Chinatown in Kensington. And there's a bonus, by the way. Did you notice the bonus? The bonus says there's a secluded deck and a small garden out back. That's a really bonus when you live in the city. Toronto is becoming like another Manhattan, another Big Apple, whether we like it or not. And 40,000 people have left Toronto or Ontario. They can't afford to live in Ontario. Just like we had a saying for many, many years, living in downtown Toronto is good for young, single, wealthy people. Toronto will be known for it. 10 years down the road, right now, 20 years down the road, living in Toronto will become a privilege. You are wealthy to live there. So here is something else I'd like to talk about. There are couple of things came up recently. The government want to hand out some money to you. We talk about all the tax money. Every time every time we discuss, we talk about, hey, what is happening? So if you happen to be region of Waterloo, they are giving away $24,000 if you are a first-time home buyer and you're a renter. And that's totally forgivable. So you must be a resident of Waterloo since August of 2019. You cannot be just moved in and say, okay, I qualify. No, sir. You have to be a renter living in the area since August 2019 to qualify to get 24,000. From time to time, most of you know that I've written books on it. I just thought I should bring it to your attention. And if you're a realtor, you know, somebody in the family, you want to buy a house, don't have a down payment, again, welcome to Canada. They love you. They want you to become a homeowner. This is a company. If you are working for somebody, hey, it's time to ask them, hey, are you offering any incentive? There are companies out there who are giving you $20,000 as a bonus to go and buy a house. Welcome to Toronto, welcome to Ontario, welcome to Canada. This company is located in Collingwood. Collingwood is not that cheap, but again, they're offering money in Collingwood, Milton, and Bradford. Hey, maybe it's time, if you're working for somebody, you're working for IT company or whichever the company you're working for, check it out if the benefits are available. The next thing I'd like to talk about is this is something we talk about hooplas, what the government doesn't want us to know, that how the bigger deals are done. And I mentioned the last meeting and then I got a request if some of you really missed it, like what is this all about? What was this deal all about? So I just want to take you to a little different land and different point of view, how the Canadian, most of the builders and land developers, how do they work? How do they are able to put very big, large deals together without putting too much capital? How do they negotiate? And this is a disclosure to some of you will be saying, really? I think I'm going to start doing the similar thing and I can have a huge benefit from it. So this is going back about 2008. BC Liberal were in power and they sold this property to Holborn and they gave them $211 million interest-free loan for 18 years. Is that a good deal? If you are buying directly from the province, from the crown, from the municipal or federal or agencies, is that okay that you get interest-free loan? Just put in the chat, please. Would that be okay to ask for interest-free loan for 20 years? Would you like to do that? Is that make sense as a realtor, as an investor? Is that make sense to ask for interest-free loan for 20 years? And there will be no payment until December 31st, 2026. Now, what it exactly pertained to, if you look into the deal very carefully, the contract shows the deal was $334 million, but the province only got $35 million so far they paid, and they got $88 million credit for social housing. Sweet, super sweet deal. First $211 million in interest-free, $88 million is a credit. So that takes you to almost $299 million. And they put only 35 million in. There's only little skin in the game, less than 17 cents. And the purpose was to build 1,400 market value homes and 230 units for social housing. The builder is laughing because that piece of property worth $334 million he paid, it might be worth about $3 to $4 billion, at least 10 times the value. Is that an incredible deal? Yes or yes? Please put in the chat. By putting only 35 million, it turned into $3.5 billion. Is that a good deal? This is how the deals are structured. This is how the big boys play. And I'm telling you, as we speak, you can do the same. Once you see something, it'll be easier to follow that next time yourself. When market slows down, things change. When you have long-term range, you want to join the billionaires club. This is how they do it. Just thought I should share with you. Here is another stuff. Some of you may not heard about it, called iceberg. Anybody know what iceberg houses are? Anybody know what iceberg is? In Toronto or larger cities, they will restrict you. You cannot go more than 60 feet in height, but you can go 60 feet in the ground. Very rich people in Toronto have multiple basements, not one basement. They have 2 or 3 basements, second level basement, third level basement. That is called iceberg. How many of you heard the term before, iceberg houses? Anybody? It is a very exclusive word for filthy rich people. If you notice that, there's an elevator for the car to go down on third level, third basement. Iceberg houses. Never heard of it. Only one person said never heard of it. It seems like everybody else heard about it. Thanks, Teresa. Appreciate it. You heard of it. All right.
I've never heard of it, but I've actually seen it though.
Okay, you've seen it. Oh, you're a lucky guy. Thank you, Tennessee, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, this is something else. Now what they're trying to do is this. Now they are saying, hey, that could be good. But what? They call, there are different names to it. Again, this, they are trying to look into it and say, okay, how can we do that? And is it okay to build under the ground? Concealed bulk below ground. People say this is, they have different names to it. I won't say it because it may not be the right word. If the zoning becomes an issue of the height, you should check with the city, hey, how about the iceberg house? How many basements can I build? And I will leave it with you to figure it out when you call the city. And you're gonna say, who are you? You talk like a very wealthy man. You have a lot of knowledge. It's very rare. We only have a few houses in Toronto. Okay. And they look at you very differently. Even your architect will say, really? Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. I can try that, but it'll be fun. How would you like to buy this house for $500 in Toronto? It's a man cave. It's just a big box only. And people live there. There's a washroom in it. There's electricity in it. And it is up for sale in the Facebook market, known as man cave, 14 feet by 18 feet. Would you like to buy this one for $500? Reassembled. Any feedback on this one? No land, sir. There's no land, only the box comes in. All right. Oh, you want to buy a house with land? Let me show you how to do this. Buy a house, this one in Japan, by the way. All you have to do is cross the ocean, Pacific Ocean. You can buy this house for $500 in Japan. Why is that? What is happening in Japan? Why are they selling so cheap? Well, it's a different asset, different area. Just like you might have seen that you can buy a house for $2 in Italy, and a lot of European countries. Those Europeans have left to go to greener grass, whether they came to US or Canada or gone to Australia, and those villages become ghost towns. So same thing happening in Japan. People from Singapore are going there, a lot of people going down there, and there are all kind of different charges on top of it. And the resale value may not be $500 when you're done with it. But it can only work for a certain type of people. If you live there, there may not be any rentals. But just thought I should throw at you today that you can buy a big box of steel for $500 in Toronto, or you can buy a really nice house in Japan for $500. But if you ever think about selling it, you may not going to get your $500 back. Exciting, but different. Look at the price of Toronto for the houses and what is happening in other part of Canada. So this is another little small house. Just thought I should take you for $500 or $10 million house in Mississauga. Why it is $10,000? French chateau style home. The only thing what's so good about it, 1.26 acres of land and backing into Credit River. It seems like you live in a Muskoka. That's why this price is. Again, if you notice that during the boom, all these properties have came up in the market for sale because they know this is the time to capitalize. This is the best time to capitalize on multi-million-dollar houses. A lot of people will buy into it, and Toronto is not gonna become cheaper by any means, or all the large cities, they're gonna go higher and higher prices though. This is another one I'd like to mention to you. This house is back again, sold for 2016 for $5 million, is now asking for $11 million, double its value in 5 years. This is another apartment building. Those who are interested in buying some apartment buildings in Toronto, this is 3 units, more or less you're paying $900,000. I believe this is a fourplex or triplex. $900,000 per door. Moving forward, this is something, let me take you to a different program altogether in Calgary. So ladies and gentlemen, you might have noticed when you go to a gas station, what's happening to the gas price? That is for the car, just wait in the winter, your gas price for the heating up the house, the gas itself, the natural gas, also prices are gone up quite a bit as well. So if you are planning to turn an office into residential, the city is offering you a lot of money, $75 per square foot for renovation. Isn't that a really good deal? And this is the area they have given to you right in the smack of downtown Calgary. If you notice that there's one Bow River right here, and there's another river and Elbow, and there are 2 rivers in the city. $10 million for you to take. If you're willing to turn a renovated project, which is more or less conversion from office space to residential, $75 per square foot. Is that really good? They're just simply handing you the money. Ontario lost about 37,000 people in just first quarter. And where these people are going from Ontario, number one choice, they're moving to BC. They're moving to Alberta. They're moving to Quebec. They're moving to Nova Scotia, the New Brunswick, Manitoba, Newfoundland, Saskatchewan, Prince Edward Island, Northwestern Territory, Northern Western, and Yukon. All 10 provinces plus 3 people are moving out from Ontario. Why? That's why when you go from out of Ontario, they say you are Ontariable. You are terrible from Ontario. Why? Because they feel Ontario is becoming way too expensive to raise a family. A lot of people like to go to Winnipeg, but it's cold. But given a choice, there are three top choices. Top choice is BC because of all the ocean. Second is Alberta, third is Quebec, and Nova Scotia should be the highest one, by the way, because a lot of people are moving towards Atlantic province. And you know what? It's cheap and reasonable, but winter. Look at the number of people moving to Alberta and Quebec. Why will somebody leave from Ontario to go to Quebec? Because lifestyle is number one reason. Here is something happening, by the way, evictions by the bank. This thing is going to become very common. Banks there's a huge opportunity arising for foreclosures. It's happening in in Alberta and Saskatchewan quite a bit. And as we speak, we are working on a bunch of deals, which are pre-foreclosures or some of them in the form of redemptions. And these deals are happening all across Canada, by the way, in case you want to know. So a massive opportunity in Ontario popping out, over 2 million homeowners, 2 million, not 100, not 1,000, 2 million homeowners in Ontario are susceptible to financial disruption. Is that a lot? It can bring economy down. More or less, 2 people out of 10 say they are regretting the amount of the loan or the mortgage they took. And they are at the edge. How long they can sit on the edge, we do not know that, but just thought you should know 2 million properties. Yikes. You can say bidding wars, I appreciate it, but again, there is a huge issue with supply and demand. Because of COVID, everything is disrupted. People don't work from home. They're saving a lot of money. No more traveling, no more eating outside, no more shopping, and no more movies, and no more any activities, no games. There is a bit of a trade, but again, when things open up, life gonna go back to new normal, whatever the new normal is gonna be. But I believe those people who just bought it because they thought they should, and are gonna be sharing with you another strategy. And it's coming up in a minute or two. Power sale help. This is something I mentioned. We recently had a couple of guys call me in, and they are the lenders. They say we can't get our money back. What should we do? So some of these people here in this meeting are special training program called coaching, and they are getting into those deals and seeing all the documentation, how the court works, and whether they're going to go through power sale or it'll be a civil enforcement, and how we can be able to take advantage of their knowledge and expertise, and they'll be able to help many people going through the courts or difficulties. Facing foreclosures, help is available. Anybody is going through, anybody, please give me a call. And we do pay a referral fees. And anybody in Canada facing foreclosure, we are ready to help them out. We will help them to downsize, make sure nobody go homeless. Whether do a deal or not, we will definitely help them, period. No two ways about it. So that brings me to this theory called Greater Fool Theory of Real Estate. And we have this lovely lady from Winnipeg, Mary, on the line today. And what is Greater Fool Theory of Real Estate is? Let me just share with you. The Greater Fool Theory is simple. A person may be a fool for buying the real estate property at a much higher price, but he knows he can find a greater fool who will buy it from a much, much higher price. And I don't know who's fool, but who's not fool. But in my opinion, when you buy a real estate for a long-term basis, you are the wise man or wise person or wise woman. So again, greater fool theory does not work every time. For some people, yes, because you may be in for a short term only for a temporary gains. But if you are in the game for a long time, this could work in your favor. Here is another theory, and I just like to share with this. Last time I showed it and people complained, hey, you didn't put long enough for us. What really happens in magic? What different magics happen in Canada? In real estate, why the real estate values between July and October? What happened to those values between July and October? There's a magic in October. So what's the magic? Show me the proof, please. Here is the proof. Please take your time. Grab your camera, please, and take a picture of this thing. What happened between July and October? And what is the difference of price changes and the sales changes? This is from last 10 years of facts and figures. Facts and figures. July, October marketing changes. What exactly changes? How do you benefit from it? Just take a picture, please. All right. This is something else. You know, those who do not know that we have tax lien sales in the Cape Breton. If anybody don't know, Cape Breton is in the Atlantic province called Maritimes, is the province of Nova Scotia, and a piece of property got sold for $630. Now, tax lien works all across this country. We teach you, by the way, we do train you and tell you exactly how to buy these properties. And this can be very lucrative strategy. Those who have not attended the apprenticeship, I suggest you do that in January. Otherwise, if you're simply buying it pre-construction or hoping for price to go up and down, you will make some money. But if you want to make a tremendous amount of money, we have tax liens, which are slightly different in every province, by the way. Moving forward, this is one of the students who might be on the line today as well. He bought this piece of property in Prenton. The property value is current market value as is $368,836. He paid only $30,000. Date August 6th. Is this guy made about $330,000, or after a paid is about $450,000? Does he have about $300,000 profit? One deal. No excuses. Opportunities are there for you. No excuses at all whatsoever. And how they say it. Please forgive me when I have to say it, and it's okay to be blunt. Excuses are for losers. Go-getters don't care how many doors do they have to knock. If you're looking for a treasure, you're looking for a gold mine, you're looking for a diamond, you go on the coal mine. It's okay to get dirty. It means hard work. Excuses are for losers, and that have been told. And I said, okay, I'll share with everybody in the meeting. All right. Another one, a vacant lot that is coming up in Toronto. That property will be worth approximately $3.5 to $4 million, and you can pick it up for how much? $620,000. Would that be cool? One deal. But if you know what you're doing, a vacant lot, City of Toronto could auction on starting about $620,000. This is addressable property, and you will see it, black and white. Facts. Reporter Michael Sumi, CBC News. Feel free to go through, Google it if you want to do it. Our apprenticeship coming in 2022. Those who attended it, excellent. Those who missed it, you have no idea what you missed. Education is much, much cheaper than the mistakes or not even starting it. Getting it, education is the most important thing. Real estate business, trust me, or trust anybody else, or try it otherwise, you'll find mistakes cost you more money than education, always. Something about everywhere in Canada, what kind of suite you can add up to your existing home, and what you need to do about adding another single family home. Where can you add them up? What are the options? Please check with the city. You'll be surprised that majority of the Canadians are looking into very carefully, especially investors. Hey, if I got one house, can I turn into duplex, or can I make into 3 units? It is multiplying your wealth. It's that simple. You can multiply your wealth. You don't need to own 40, 50 houses. You don't even need to own 4 or 5 houses. If you got 3, 4 good properties, trust me, you're a multi-millionaire. You don't need to buy thousands of properties. If you buy a property which gives you tremendous amount of cash flow, not pennies or something. Okay, would you like to buy a basement apartment for $500,000 in Toronto? 921 Adelaide Street West, 600 square foot. This may gonna sell for $600,000. $1,000 per square foot in a basement. Welcome to Toronto. And next thing I'd like to share with you, this is another Laneway house. I decided that I'll save it. Remember we discussed about Laneway houses? This is 5,500 square foot for $5 million. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Laneway house for $5 million. It's in the laneway. It's not on the road or street or avenue. It's a laneway. This is where fortunes will be made in the coming future. Fortunes will be made in laneway houses in Toronto. I don't care what kind of investment you do. Laneway houses are going to be should be one of your top strategy. All right, just thought I should share with you this address. All information I'm sharing with you, you're welcome to Google it and make sure, hey, you heard it correctly. All I offer you is a bit of strategy so that it becomes a very valuable time for you, that when you attend this mastermind meeting, that's why you pay $350 a year to join these meetings. So there are 2 magic words I talk about all the time. And last time I showed the meeting, people say, can you please show us? Land assembly, rezoning. Developers alert, rezoning potential, new development opportunity, great for investor and developers. Magical words can turn the property and multiply its value from 2 to 10 times, just using the 2 words, land assembly and rezoning. The most powerful words in real estate for builders and land developers. They're looking for it. Land assembly, okay. Rezoning, excellent. The most powerful words, which can jack up the price, double to 10 times. Words are powerful. Moving forward, and this is the question I'm going to lobby for a long time to come. Should Canadian government give a tax break to investors when we rehab the properties? We put our blood and sweat. We turn ugly houses into most beautiful, affordable housing for rentals. I strongly believe that investors should get a credit for that, some sort of a tax break. They give it to everybody. If you're a developer, you're building brand new rental units, there's a lot of incentives available. How about we turn ugly houses to nice houses? We are builders too. But we rebuilt actually. We don't rebuild, brand new. And those who agree with me, you can say, put in the chat, yes, we should get a tax break. Please put in the chat, yes, we can use the chat. we must get a tax break. Because once we go that route, you'll be surprised, a little voice one day will reach to Ottawa, and that this could be a bill on the House of Commons, that somebody raised the voice, a small little meeting of pre-Canada. It could be 3 years down the road, or maybe 3 months down the road. You never know. It could become a law. It could be beneficial for us. Those who are not familiar with the coaching, that's on a different level. A coaching take you in the trenches, only teach you by doing the deal. If you have a coach who's just giving a pep talk, reading a script, blah, 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 get up in the morning, talk to people. Hello, that's not coaching. Have you seen a coach? If somebody's coaching you, they're playing with you in the field. They are in the trenches. So there are a lot of second or third hand coaching. Stay away from it, please. A coaching is done when somebody is sharing you a deal, a real deal, not an example. Oh, I bought a house in 1957. Okay, good. In Mississauga. Okay, have you been to Canada? No. Do you know the laws? No. But I'm a coach. Where do you live? I rent a building. How much are you getting for coaching? $10 an hour. Stay away from those people, please. Big names, fancy names. Stay away from that kind of coaching. That's my recommendation to you. What is coaching does? It's all about discipline. Mindset and skills are developed. Practicing is another part of it. And again, the skill take longer. You'll say, I'm not getting much out of it. I'm just doing a deal. Okay, that's what you want to do. All the money is in the deals. If you're not doing real deal while coaching, you beat the purpose of it. If you want to play hockey, but you can't score a goal, hello. You have to be on the freaking ice. You got to have a puck. You need to be hockey, and you have to have opposition people to defend it. It's in the road, in the trenches, please. So how do you uncover the zone of your genius? It's not about you. You will never know exactly how powerful you are until you have a coach. Coach can tell you one thing. The coach can tell you something which you have never known about you. Most of us don't realize it, that we have more than 7 different blessings. We are so powerful. We are so unique. Each and all of us are blessed. The trouble is, nobody pays attention to your genius. All they pay attention to putting you down, negativity. Whether we like it or not, we live in a very polluted, toxic world. And a coach will bring you a breather about you only when you do something, and that doing something will take work from you. Anyway, dreams and credible abilities you possess, you will get better. I'm going to skip this one for the time being. And this is what is really making your life harder, limiting belief. I don't have time, don't have money. I don't know what to do with it. I'm afraid of failure. I don't have enough knowledge, blah, blah, blah. This is something you will face every day. And you wonder, why don't you shop your list of family and friends, because they are polluting your mind with a lot of negativity, and they call crybaby syndrome. Well, you have it, I don't, you don't have it, no, you are this and that, whatever. Stay away from, please, that's just it. All right, moving forward, my real estate coach said, let's do it together. That's a coach. Let us go and do it together. And let's do it together is the key. If you have that person in your life, whether it's even your mother, your parents, whoever it is, that's a good coach. All right. Those who are looking into a coach, please, you can give us a call, book an appointment. We will be opening soon for some coaching students only. We open once or twice a year, and there has been a lot of pressure to open up a little bit more spaces. So we are considering few people only. We take very handful of people every year, but we keep it a very low profile. Only selected people are allowed to attend. It's not for everybody. It's not for anybody. It's not for everybody. It is exclusively for those people who have tons of fire in the belly, tons of fire. All right. Consider it very fortunate if you are being given opportunity to become coaching student. It's very, very powerful. Okay. All right, moving forward, JVs, name of the game, better learn how to do JV with RSP money, how we can just do it with TFSA, how does it really work? We're going to be doing a very special session soon about this JV business as well. Ask any question. We'll be opening the room for soon. And cash for home, we are the buyers. In case you know anybody need to get rid of the property, they are in a panic situation. They need to sell day before yesterday or 2 weeks ago. We have the cash available. We are interested in buying properties all across Canada. Something about unbelievable facts about Toronto real estate market. If you really want to know, I'd like to share some of the stuff with you. But I'm going to move it quick and move it fast because there's something else I need to talk. I know it's a long weekend, but I'll make it quick and fast. What is happening in last month, September? Sales are up. Sales are down comparatively, from last year to this year. New listings are down dramatically. Active listings are down by 50%. Average price, that's what we care about, is up by 18% from last year to this year of September. And the average days is taking a lot less time to sell a house, 14 days, and average listing is about 19 days. These are hardcore facts, by the way. The sale price is up in Toronto. I'm sorry, from last year to this year, the sales are down, by the way. Last year, 2020 September, with 11,000 sales. This year, we have 9,000, which is quite a bit of lot less sales. But look at the price, 960 to 1.1. That will tell you the, hey, market is pretty strong, 18% compared to last year. These are the properties, number of properties get sold in 416 and 905 area. 416 is strongly about condos. 905 is very strong about single family homes. Again, if you look at the numbers very carefully, this can be obtained by any realtor, or you can go to Toronto Real Estate Board Market Watch, and your realtor will be more than happy to provide information. This is very helpful information you should have just to be aware what is happening in the market though. This is if you want to see what happened this whole year, the number of property gets sold. If you notice that in March, we have the highest number of 15,000 altogether. And if you notice that the number of sales are happening comparatively, how it happened into the month of July and August and September so far, the sales are quite a bit down comparatively. But again, look at the prices. It reflects two things: lack of supply, and sometimes in the summertime, people say, let's take a break from COVID and enjoy ourselves. Moving forward, these are the sales from last year. I'm going to skip this one too shortly because I just thought I should bring it to you. In case you want to know what was average price in Toronto, was 57,000 in 1975. And if you notice that in 1988, 1989, we had the highest price of 273, and then the boom got busted. And for that price to come back, it almost took 2002. So it was approximately 14 years when the boom got busted. It took 14 years to recover that boom. So be aware of it in the business of real estate. It's not for everybody. Market goes up, market goes down. So be aware of it. That's the reason I want to show you the facts. It's not my opinion, it's hardcore facts. All right. Something you should know. So we, as investors, we have faced many, many challenges. One of the challenges we face is the contractors, fix and flip. Who is the contractor? Who should be hired? Should we hire through TaskRabbit? Should we hire through Bark? Should we hire through Handyman, Kijiji, Friends, all the stuff? And a lot of contractors have bad rap. How do you go around it? What do you need to know? So let's talk about it today. Number one, hiring a general contractor. Very important for you to know if you are going to be in the business. So consumer buyer beware list. So these are the licensed and unlicensed contractors. Be aware, everything you do your own. There's something we have a bit of protection called Consumer Protection Ontario, where it gives you a bit of an idea exactly what we should be aware of it before we decided to hire a contractor. There's a list of businesses which is available online. Hey, be aware of these guys. These guys are no good. They have been charged or convicted under the Consumer Protection Act. And you can look into every special business, by the way. It goes under the Consumer Protection Ontario. I will allow you, if you like, to grab a camera, take a picture of the slides, please do so. If you find this information helpful, please put in the chat and just say helpful. Please put in the chat helpful, or have a little chat if you like. Because you may want to know exactly what kind of contractor do what, and why they shouldn't be in the business. Let's talk about next one, Ontario College of Trades. Very important part of it. Very important. Why? This is something which regulates this industry, promote the skills and trades, and they want to make sure that the person who's taking it have proper education, training, and certification, and they are allowed to work legally in that trade. There are 23 different trades allowed in Ontario. You need to be licensed by them. You have to have proper training. Electrician is like one of them. I'm just going to give you an example. Not everybody can become an electrician. Not everybody can become a plumber. And same thing with other professions goes in, and you should be aware of it, because by doing so, it will help you to understand. Now, let's talk about one trade here. Roofers, no license required. Majority of the complaints come from roofers. Who are they? Anybody can be a roofer. I can be a roofer. You can be a roofer. No license required. And funny enough is this one. There are associations you can complain. The Canadian Roofing Contractor Association and also Ministry of Labor side, the Government of Ontario, they have different things, and they will tell you exactly. Just be aware of it. You'll find majority of the people lose their shirt to the roofers. Why? Because it's a non-compulsory trade. No training is required. No complaint. And also make sure you never pay a roofer upfront, and make sure they have insurance. If they don't, hey, move on. Find another roofer. You'd rather pay a little bit more money and have a reliable person who issue you proper receipt and a license, and you can verify them, hey, if they are registered. Now let's talk about electrician, ESA, very critical point. Now make sure that a person who you are hiring is licensed. And a lot of times that you need approval from ESA, which is Electrical Safety Authority. They will come down and make sure the electrician they have done a proper job. Otherwise, this could become a nightmare. People who do not know do not have license, they can do the work, but it may gonna cause a lot of grief for you. It's not advisable to have a non-licensed electrician, period. Next person is heating, ventilation, air conditioning, HVAC. Again, this is something they must have the license. Their license is with the Heating, Refrigeration, Air Conditioning Institution of Canada, by the way. There's a list available for them. And the one thing, you do not touch the gas. You have to have a gas filling license. People mess up with all the time, don't realize it. This is not something you play with. You don't play with the furnace, you don't play with air conditioning. You need to have proper licensed technician to do so. If you're doing so, it doesn't cost much, but given a choice, you'd rather do it as a HVAC people. Engineers also have APO. Professional engineers have their own association in case you're hiring one, whether it's a structure, whether it's a civil, or whether you are thinking to do anything to the land development. There are different type of engineers. Be aware of it. And if they're a member, it's much easier. Here is something I like to give it to you today. There is money available for you. What? Can you please mute yourself? Thank you. There is money available for you if you are thinking of upgrade yourself, upgrade your. Oh boy, somebody is not able to mute themselves. Thank you. Okay, got it. So there's a grant available for you, $5,600 for audit, $5,000 for this. Make sure you have, if you happen to be in Toronto or Edmonton, there are different programs available. It's called Property Assess Energy, Clean Energy Program costs, stand for PACE. So not too sure if you can use both grant from federal as well as from City of Toronto and Edmonton, but look into it. If you're looking for new windows or heating, air conditioning, anything to save energy, that's a good program to have, and make sure you take full advantage of it because you are paying the taxes and this is your right. These are the benefits available for you. You should take full advantage of all these benefits. Moving forward, luxury tax, like it or not, coming soon, January 1st. Starting with the cars, pleasure boats, private jets. There'll be extra 10% fee, 20% fee on the amount exceeding $100,000. So luxury tax back persons, people can afford luxury. Postponed purchases, people are getting laid off. Again, this may gonna have some sort of a good and bad effect on the economy, but it is coming January 1st, 2022. How many of you own a private jet here? Anybody? Pleasure boat, a yacht?
Yeah, I
A
got
lot of you own, I know that cars were $200,000-$300,000 or more. And if you happen to own even a Tesla is about 150 grand. So again, be aware of it. Just thought I should let you know that new grab. Hey, who said rich don't pay taxes? They do. All right. Blue Monday is the best Monday to buy any deep discounted properties. Make sure if you're going to do a deal, Monday is the day to strike the deal. Why? Doesn't understand. Moon Day is very emotional. Somehow people are down. People don't like it or not. Somehow, somewhere we have some placebo effect. We feel it. We can't clarify it, but it works majority of the time. Just thought I should share with you. And every meeting, people ask me to please share it again. Okay, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, whatever you say. How to wholesale and flip properties, it'll be on October 12th, which is Tuesday. Those who have never taken it, please go to flippingforprofit.ca, get yourself a ticket, 3 hours of very powerful learning, high energy, high value learning. Let me put it that way to you. Check before you invest. Please check with Ontario Security Commission. A lot of companies are not good companies. Be aware that you do your own due diligence. Check before you invest.ca. There are a few bad apples. How's that one for a change? There are a few bad apples. Be aware of it. Check before you invest.ca instead of blaming anybody else. Do your own homework. period. This is very common among when you start investing with other people projects, not knowing who they are, what they are. Coaching, mentoring coming soon. I mentioned to you earlier, I want to say thank you to you. Happy Thanksgiving. Before we go anywhere else, I want to let you know the next meeting will be November 13th and December 11th. And now we're going to open up for something nice. I've been told to finish this meeting earlier, and people want to, I don't know why I have so many requests today that people say, please skip the networking online and prefer to do it next time. If it is okay, we can wrap up the meeting now. If you still want to do network, let me know and see how many people want to stay here for networking. Otherwise, I want to say sincerely thank you once again for everybody. We tried to wrap up the meeting earlier today because it's a long weekend and everybody wants to enjoy the time. Any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer it for you right now. I'll be the last person to leave and we will take it from there. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you very much.
All right, good day, my friend. I'll wrap it up. Everybody's saying, hey, oh my God. All right, you don't need to text me. I hear you loud and clear. I got too many calls, but that's fine. We'll wrap up right now. Everybody's saying, please wrap up. We don't want to miss anything. Wrap up the meeting. Everybody, once again, happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you guys on November 13th. Some of you, I'll see you on this Tuesday night, from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. Again, one more time, I want to apologize for the little bit miscommunication, and we still got about more than 30 people, but it's all good. Thank you, everybody, and have yourself an awesome weekend. Whatever you do, have a lot of fun, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Likewise, my friend. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? Please feel free to ask. I will be here for a few more minutes. Okay, people are dropping very fast. Okay.
Hi, Nav.
Hi, who's this?
It's Donna. Donna Lee.
Hello, Donna. How do you do?
I'm doing great. That was a great meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you. Couple questions about the laneway houses. I'm looking for specific contractors that specialize in these things. And then also, just for what are the legalities of all of these laneway houses? How do we find out about all of this? Because I know there's, go ahead.
There are about 2 or 3 architects so far. If you Google it, they pop out. They are the one who's doing it. Now, it's not, it's very easy to build one. The first call should be go to the city. Hey, I own a piece of property on ABC Street and there's a laneway. Is this my property qualify for laneway house? They say yes. And the second question you should ask them, hey, how much money are you willing to give it to me if I build it, or if I want to build one? If the city says, oh, okay, so you're looking for assistance of 50,000 or more. Yes, I'm looking for 50,000 handout. So that will be the great start. If the city, if you got a pre-approval before you even get the drawings done, that'll be helpful. And then you can cut down the cost quite a bit, by the way, because the people who are building now do not realize that they are making a lot of errors and mistakes. And the house you're building in the back of the house or in the laneway, right now there's a garage, and the garage need to be reinforced or need to be redone altogether. And you don't have to, you can build a basic one or luxury one, and it's entirely up to you. And you can still build a luxury laneway house at the fraction of the cost what people are doing on it, because they're going overboard, spending $1 million, which is about $300 per square foot. If you are an investor, you'll be investing maybe $150 to $200 per square foot have the same luxury or much better luxury. And there are things which one has to be careful with, like what people want to have and what people will pay the most. Like for example, simple example, you got a dishwasher in your rental unit, the rent is up by $100. What does the dishwasher cost? Not much money. How about having a fireplace? That's an extra $50 to $100 a month. People will pay for the pearls. People will pay for the little things which give them a comfort. Okay, and how about the heated floors? It's cost less than $1,000. Heated floor in kitchen and the washroom are hottest selling feature. So there are features now which when I do consulting, for example, from time to time, whether it's a builders or investors, hey, how can I add up a lot of value where I can get a top rent and get the best of the best tenants with a very good taste. People don't mind paying $200 or $150 for the steak, which you can buy the same steak for $20. Why do they go to a certain place and they pay $200-$300? Same reason. So people like Laneway houses can become a very luxury rental unit for you. And rental market is becoming a landlord is not for anybody and everybody, because their thinking does not elevate to a level where they can provide a luxury and the benefits are amazing. Just like, you're driving a Toyota and you're driving a Lexus, the difference between these two cars are one is built for luxury thing, one is built for basics. The same thing with the Laneway houses. If you want to add up some of the stuff, all the bells and whistles, it's become extremely profitable and it's become one of the best property to sell very easily. So anytime we're selling a piece of property, I look into certain things, and if you highlight those things, property gets sold for much higher value, time after time. We all love luxury. We all love toys. Does that answer your question, Donna?
It answers the question. I was under the understanding from someone I spoke to some time ago that the Laneway House is actually part of the same property, as we know,
No,
as the residential
it's-
home.
no,
Can
it's
you
not.
sever them?
No, that's different ball game.
Okay.
Single SDU, single dwelling unit are totally different. There are something called tiny houses. Now they have been classified into so many different types now. So be aware of it. Laneway house is simply a laneway at the back of the house where the garages and garage is built on top of it. And that's also known as coach houses in BC or other parts of Canada. BC coach houses are very common. BC has more laneway houses, especially Vancouver, compared to Ontario or Toronto. That's why today my presentation was to be very precise. How many houses are already built? How many have got a building permit? How many people have applied permit? And what is the availability? 300 kilometers in Toronto alone. It's huge. So you are at a stage of being a pioneer, because just imagine how many houses can be built on 300 kilometers. And each kilometer is 1,000 meters. An average house has maybe 10-meter frontage. So there's a huge opportunity, in my opinion, based upon what we have done so far, what I have seen people doing it, all the research our team have put together, and the potential. The land is becoming very expensive. So what you're talking about is totally different.
I am getting a little confused then.
No,
Between
it
the
is
tiny houses.
tiny
the
houses are different in Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge area, KWC. So there's no laneway. You have a garage, and you're allowed to turn your garage into a tiny house, third unit. They're known as single dwelling unit, SDU. Laneway House is totally different.
I understand now.
All right, thank you.
I get it.
I'll
Thank you.
take one more question before wrap up. I know everybody's saying, okay, time to leave, stop taking questions. Okay, you can, okay. Stop taking questions. Okay, 4 messages so far on my text message. Okay.
And happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you. See you. Same to you, my friend. Okay, I'm gonna
I
wrap
have
up
a
the meeting
question.
now.
One
Sorry.
question.
Yes, ma'am.
A friend of mine just bought a house. It's here in Edmonton,
Okay,
and they have a basement, but it's not finished.
yes.
And there is an entrance to get in. They're asking me how they can go about getting a grant or something to finish it because they wanted to rent.
Well, okay, you should call me directly. You should be charging
Okay.
consulting fee for it. Are they gonna pay, are they gonna pay you the fee?
Well, we haven't discussed that. They just asked me about
No,
it.
no. As I
Get back to
said to
them.
you, first of all,
Okay.
we're a consultant. We don't give free
Okay.
advice. Yes?
Okay.
Are we on the same page?
Yes, thank you.
All right, so it's important
I
for
will
you that you
contact
charge $5,000 for your time.
Okay, thank you. I'll get
All right.
I'll get
Thank you.
I'll get
Take
in
care.
touch with you. Thank you. You too. Bye.
All right, everybody, take care and enjoy the day.
Happy Thanksgiving.